What's going on, everybody? Hope you all are having a good day. I want to talk about random subject, not really in the news or anything, but just something personally I saw on Twitter. This lady from Arizona, I'll put the tweet up here. You can read it yourself if you want. But basically, Arizona, she's going to argue that Arizona remove the access of SNAP benefits, EBT, food card, whatever you want to call it, food stamps, basically access and ability to use that for pop, candy, soda, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from, or whatever you call sugary ass carbonated drinks, Coke if you're from the South, I guess, whatever, and remove that from the program so you're not able to buy that with SNAP or EBT benefits. And my first thought was, yeah, no shit, this should have been removed. I don't know how, forever long ago. Should have never been eligible for that. But for some reason, on my Twitter account, the way I saw this was somebody replying to this lady and basically telling her to go rot in hell for this, and they wish her the worst of luck and all kinds of things. People are telling her that she's a bitch and all kinds of crazy things in the comments. I don't understand this at all. This is like super simple stuff to me. You guys have to let me know what you think, honestly. Like, before I even get into the argument, if you would, I don't know, let me know what your initial reaction is to this, because in my mind, it's a no-brainer that you should not be able to buy pop and candy with food stamps, basically. My first reaction was like, okay, no shit, like that should have been done previously. But all these people arguing with it, the two arguments I saw the most arguing that you should leave it on there as it is was that you're doing something wrong or evil or bad by taking away the personal rights of the person with food stamps to buy whatever they want. I'm almost 100% sure that you can't use food stamps for alcohol and tobacco, so that makes no fucking sense. So in my mind, get that argument out of there. The only argument that makes sense, and it only makes sense on an emotional level, literally barely surface level, was you're taking away like a treat from a kid. Like, as a little kid, like, I don't know how you grew up or not, if pop and candy was a treat, but to me personally it was a treat. And I'm a person speaking from in my own experience. My family was on food stamps, so we had food stamps. Shout out to my mom, because we never had candy or pop or any of this shit in the house. I do remember, the only thing that I remember specifically that was groceries and that was like pure sweet food that would not be a good food for you, but was like a treat we would get every once in a while, Maple Twists from Kroger. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like a cinnamon roll bread hybrid. They're fluffier than cinnamon rolls with maple frosting on top of them. Eat that for breakfast. I mean, they didn't last very long. I had 3 siblings, so they basically got demolished in one single day, but hey, they were good as hell, and I'm never going to act like that didn't happen. But overall, I would thank my mom for, even though we were on food stamps, that she went out of her way, or at least was, at a bare minimum, was definitely smart enough to buy a bunch of good quality food for the most part, even if it's cheap. I mean, we were eating, like, I mean, hot dogs and beans isn't good, but it's not sugar-filled shit. Like, hot dogs aren't good for you, and baked beans aren't, like, great, but they'll fill you up. It's as cheap as it can get. Hey, keep it moving. I eat hot dogs and beans to this day, and I still love that shit. So, I mean, to me, that's fine. If anything, I would agree to raise the benefits for food stamps if you get rid of pop and candy off the thing and basically a bunch of food with super added sugars. I don't see why these people, like I said, it's an emotional argument, an appeal to emotion. It has no logic behind it. These people that are like, oh, wow, you're a piece of shit taking pop away from poor people. If you want pop that bad, pop isn't that expensive. Go buy some pop on your own dime, okay? I looked this up just generally because, I mean, I know that food stamps, they're a federal program, but it's administered by the states, so the states can put extra restrictions on it. In Ohio, I looked it up like real quick. I mean, the money that you get is more than I would have thought you would have got, to be honest. When I was looking it up, it obviously is based off your income and your family size, so it ranges all over the place. But I mean, there's some, like, you could have a family of 4 and have your income can be like $4,300 a month, and you can still get $700 of food stamps, which in my mind, a family of 4 is like a pretty reasonable, that's like a solid benchmark. 2 adults, 2 kids. And like I said, $700 a month in free food. That's more than I spend on food for groceries right now. And there's only, I mean, there's 3 of us. My daughter doesn't eat real food like that yet. But $700 ain't fucking nothing. That's a lot. Depending on where you live, obviously it's probably more expensive, but that was Ohio. $700 is a ton. If you're telling me you can't buy pretty healthy food for 4 people, you're shopping wrong. Even with the inflated prices, I'll talk about it day and night how expensive things are these days, but $700 can buy you some pretty good shit. And you're still bringing home $4,300 a month. So in my mind, you should be able to make that work. Obviously, in practice, people are flippant with their money and it's all kinds of craziness. But to go back to the pop and candy argument, these things are not needs at all. Pop and candy, pure wants. I saw an argument that they're like, oh, nice going, asshole. You take these foods from diabetics who need a sweet food to bump their sugar up and shit like this. I know people that are close to me that have diabetes that need to do things like this. Honey isn't getting ripped out of the EBT thing. Take a spoonful of honey and bump your blood sugar up. You don't need candy. You don't need a fucking Snickers bar and a Coca-Cola. And this, like I said, I didn't grow up with pop. I don't really drink pop. I love sweet tea, but I don't drink pop like that. And I love candy too. I mean, obviously anybody loves candy. It's fucking addictive. It's sugar. That's the whole reason it shouldn't be on the list. It should not be taxpayer funded. And the real reason this shouldn't be, the linchpin to the argument would be, why are we putting unhealthy foods that literally cost the taxpayer even more money? Because if you're poor, grown up, and if for some reason you stay poor, but you're going to be unhealthy on these food stamps because you're buying shit food because it's cheap, it's bottom of the barrel cheap, and then you're going to eat a bunch of added sugar, be overweight most likely if you're eating too much, taking in too many calories, going to be sick all the time, and then you're going to cost the Medicare and Medicaid, whichever one's for just younger, if not seniors, not the senior one, you're going to cost them even more money because you're unhealthy as all fuck because you've been eating pop your whole life, drinking pop and eating candy. This makes no sense. No sense at all. Get it off there. If you want to give me an argument for why you should leave it on there, please let me know. Like I said, I disagree wholeheartedly and I'll gladly argue with anybody in the comments, but I think I'm going to make another video later on, and I don't know, we got to talk about what Elon's doing and Doge and all this other shit's going on. It's getting crazy up in here. Talk about money being wasted and money being squandered. It isn't just the food stamps program, apparently. So leave a like if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Let me know. Like I said, leave a comment, please. I think we hit 100 subs today, so I really appreciate you guys. I got to change the thing in the description to 200 now. So I'll catch you later on.